I just got done watching this Cami Cakes video, and it's pretty interesting. He talks about playing on Dissonance and how he doesn't really know what his best on this map feels like. And I can definitely relate to that. I've got some maps I struggle playing on. Dissonance, however, definitely not one of them. I did really well this weekend, for me at least. So as for what works for you, that might vary a little bit map to map, person to person, but I found something that worked really well for me this weekend. So I went 2.6 this weekend, and I went 35 wins, 4 losses, 5 flawlesses. So pretty much all of my wins went toward getting flawlesses, and most of my games were not close games, really at all. It's a very slam or get slammed map. Dissonance is a little weird. But look at this, 5-1, 5-0, 5-0, 5-0, 5-1, and 5-4. This is one of my few close games. So yeah, very slam or get slammed map. Not a lot in between. Now let's go over to look at Cami's trials report, because he's no slouch himself. So 2-4 seasonal is really good, and he played it at 2-1, which tells me that at the very least he's not losing his ones, and his positioning is probably very good. So he went 15-16. But now this KD paired with this win-loss is a little bit weird. It does kind of mean either A, he's playing solo and he's getting a little bit unlucky, which is totally possible. But probably he's not totally controlling the game as much as is possible, or at least as much as I was able to in my games. I did get a little bit lucky. They were mostly solo games, but there were some good players in my games for sure. I played against Terror this weekend, and I was able to come out with the W, so that was cool. I'd love to hop right into the post commentary, but I feel like there's one thing that I need to talk about first, and that's Dissonance being a very weird map. So it does follow this sort of formula that you're going to see on almost all of the Destiny 2 maps. Now they're all going to end up looking pretty much like this, or some form of this. I'll speed it up a little bit so you don't have to wait, but most Destiny 2 maps are going to more or less follow this formula, where they have left lane, the black lines symbolize your lines of sight and where you're going to be able to see and shoot at other players on the map, as well as open areas. So you're going to have your spawn is going to be probably somewhere. One spawn's going to be here, and the other spawn's going to be over here somewhere. And then your 3 flags are going to be here, here, and here. And then varying map to map, there will be various, clutter in these in-between areas to, spice things up. Otherwise, the game would get pretty boring. And Javelin 4 and Dissonance both seem to follow this rule. However, I think that there's a really big distinction between the two that I want to make. The reason I'm using Javelin 4 is because Cami briefly likens Dissonance to Javelin 4 as to how he knows how to play on the map. And there's one huge difference between these maps that I want to highlight before I get any further. On Javelin 4, the timing to get from one player to get from the generator spawn to up here, or challenge at heavy ammo to challenge this lane, because this is kind of the primary lane most of the time. If it's the middle flag, or even if it's the B flag, this is a really common angle, so I'm going to use it as an example. So the time it takes to get from generators to here and a fuel to here are super similar, as well as getting from fuel to here. Might be a little bit longer, but nothing super negligible. Are going to be pretty similar, and then the round is going to be determined either by whoever team shots better, or maybe somebody flanks around a little bit, but it's pretty simple. The timings are more or less set in the stone. Even if you grab special at the start of the round with this new ammo system, you're going to get here roughly at the same time, and everybody's going to start shooting down this one lane. And Dissonance is totally different from that, because the timing, let's say, imagine if you were going really fast and you were able to make the cross from here over to play this corner on Rocket. Most good teams are gonna, if at least 1 or 2 players go heavy, they're gonna shoot you and you're not gonna make it across there. Dissonance, however, basically gives you 6 different options with every spawn to make it across to some wacky weird spot like this. So it makes the rounds way less predictable, and I think it makes it a lot more interesting and more difficult to predict what people are going to do. On Dissonance, for instance, let's say it's the middle flag, it's not so predictable as on Javelin. Probably people are going to challenge here and here, and then maybe one person will flank for either team, or somebody will play here. There's 3 or 4 possible permutations of what can happen. Whereas on Javelin 4, there's probably hundreds. I mean, look at the cover. Like, there's like this thing here you can play, or you could go over flank by Bloom or Overlook, or you could just sit behind the TV screen and be really boring, which lots of people love to do with their Forerunners. There's just kind of unlimited amount of possibilities for how a round can progress. Not to say that isn't the case with Javelin 4, but there are certainly fewer permutations of what can happen on Jav. Two things Cammy talked about briefly at the beginning of the video that I want to talk about before I get started also are going to be the Dawnblade Warlock. He said he doesn't like it on this map because there's spots where you can get your feet shot when you wouldn't be able to see enemies, and the architecture is really funky, and the skybox on this map is really weird. I'll say it's pretty strange. And it is kind of a pain. But once I got to know like where it was weird and how I could play around it, it wasn't a big obstacle for me. So I really did enjoy playing Dawnblade on this map. And the other thing is the special ammo. He talks about special ammo and says pretty much it's where it's like in a really convenient location where you can grab basically regardless of where you're going without slowing you down too much. And he's not totally wrong, but I do feel like it would slow down a lot of my rollouts a lot. And this loadout kind of works better anyway, so it lets me run double primary, so I can just totally disregard grabbing special at the start of the round and go straight into my rollout. And I think that that's a really big factor in my gameplay, and something that let me do way better than I would have if I had been sort of pinned into grabbing special ammo. Because I think special ammo, it doesn't slow you down if you want to run straight to the TV screen and just peek on these two access points. However, if you want to, let's say, like go straight to Overlook and flank here because it's B point, if I want to go here and eat my nade, it's going to slow me down a lot to go in here, jump over this, like route through this like funky, these weird like pillars, and then I go up and eat my nade and I can peek over into Bloom by B. So you can make special ammo work, but I really enjoyed not having to grab special ammo. I feel like it saved me a ton of time on this map and definitely got me a lot of free kills by being places that people wouldn't have expected me to go because they would be expecting me to be elsewhere grabbing special ammo. So yeah. So unfortunately I didn't grab any gameplay that was just like a straight full game. I only have stuff that was montage type clips, but I will still bring a handful of them up and talk about them and what I was thinking. And I think that the rollout itself is probably one of the most important things that I can show here that'll be pretty educational. So round starts, I use snap skate. I don't know if we frown on that here, but I snap skate. And I really like this flank. I think this flank is crazy strong. Almost any time that I get this spawn, especially if flag is over on the left here, I'm going to be going far side, and then I'm going to jump up and eat my nade and peek this window. This is what I was talking about when I was saying special ammo slows a lot of people down and pins them into a particular, I don't know if I want to say playstyle, but like a particular part of the map. If somebody wasn't grabbing special ammo, they could have been on my right. But because I know everybody on this team uses a special weapon, I can fairly easily predict they're all going to go into this room, they're going to grab special, so I'm safe to float up here. Nobody's going to be flanking me on the right, and they're pretty much, the whole threat is going to be in roughly this like 30 degrees that's all on my screen right now. So it enables me to jump up here, ADS, be looking at this window. I float in here and I notice this guy. He's being weird. So one more thing. When I play this aggro, I notice a lot of my teammates, even if they are special grabbing players, a lot of them will follow me. Like they see me up here, I'm doing damage, I'm getting shot at. I got two of them that I'm sort of fighting right now. My teammates will push up to help me. So my teammates show up and... So I really love this like snap launching with the final warning. It's a crazy play. A lot of people don't really know how to play against it. Basically, the only counter is having good aim. If somebody has really good aim, especially on like a SMG or like a sidearm on controller, they'll probably gun me. But other than that, really fun way to play the game. And yeah, so my teammates and I pretty much just ran into their spawn and gunned them all down. Not that this was an especially close game, but... Yeah. So let's look at the rollout on this one. I'm just selecting these at random. I wish I had them in a, set order that worked better. But yeah, I go for this again. This is that same window that I was talking about a second ago. This time I catch somebody running out of it. They almost are never, nobody's going to expect you to be here. I had pretty bad aim, but I was still able to clean it up. Caught this guy lacking. He should have used special on me, but I got him with the snap dive, and he ignited. Now over here, I definitely misplay. He totally could have killed me there if he just had a better shotgun shot. Like I was toast. And so Final Warning definitely thrives on these like awkward situations where I'm like floating up and he's in a weird spot and we're both half HP. But yeah, I'm able to clean him up here. This was not a great play. Back here, I wish I'd played cover and not gotten so close while he still had a shotgun. Probably could have played it smarter, but ended up winning. His shotgun whiffed and came out with the W. So this one, a lot less clean rollout. I start out just like sprinting at the start of the round, and this pillar is really annoying. I don't know how many times I had to do this weird like jump around the pillar thing. But yeah, I still got a pretty decent start. Now I see this guy on radar. I get good damage on him. I notice he's there and one other teammate. I'm able to float the teammate before he notices me, and Panda's still running around. Nobody shoots back except for the last guy. I mean, pretty much as long as I can get those first like couple of shots, get that tempo started on Panda, I feel like I'm pretty confident in my ability to at least win that current engagement, if not the round. So like Panda, I notice he does the Phoenix dive right there, which lets me go up his teammates in an animation to throw a grenade, so that guy's not going to shoot me for a couple of seconds, or not a couple of seconds, but I've got a moment to get my lock on him, and go ahead, gun him, and then same thing with Panda. And then their third teammate is paying attention to my teammates over here, and he doesn't see me until it's too late. So this rollout, I wasn't playing as fast against this team because they'd caught me a time or two in the air. So I was trying to play a little bit smarter, a little bit more passive, stay alive. I also knew that these teammates were pretty good, so I wanted to give them time to shine. But yeah, so here they both get gunned pretty early in the round. The first teammate goes down, and then my other teammate gets a little bit too much too aggressive, and he pushes off to the left there. So yeah, my teammate pushes that, and I didn't want to because I'm not pushing a shotgunner. But I was luckily able to catch Andrew here out in the open. I knew this guy's totally alone, and his teammates are both on my left, plus he's going for heavy. So right here, I can get a 2-for-1, deny him getting heavy, and get a pretty much free kill. So yeah, I noticed one's there, and then I saw on my radar while I'm down under the table. So I see the first guy right there, and then on my radar there's another ping here. No hunters alive, so it's not a fake radar ping. So I'm free to push up. I catch this guy lacking. He's a controller player, so he wasn't able to turn fast enough. And then this last guy, this is really tragedy. He just didn't look up, so he wasn't able to get me. All right, so again, same rollout, snap skate. Basically, I'm just going as fast as I can to hit these engagement points. This one I'm a little bit late, but I can still challenge Annex and this like open area down here. So I catch this guy, no cover, and then his teammate jumps in and pretty much dies to the exact same thing. I seriously can't say how many times I made this exact play, or more or less this play. I think this was from earlier in the weekend before I learned to do it. I eventually ended up eating my nade while standing on this platform, and then I would float up because it let me get a little higher and have more time on heat rises, but that's just probably being a perfectionist. It still worked out pretty well. So yeah, you pretty much just by being this fast and not being pinned in by the fact that I need to grab special ammo, it let me go a lot faster and be somewhere that pretty much nobody would have any reason to expect that a normal player would be. And I get 2 free kills. And this happened to so many of my games this weekend. And yeah, once it's a 3v1, obviously it's pretty free to clean up. Alright, so yeah, far right point. I really like going on the opposite side of the point because a lot of times I can get a float here, or not. I guess this time I didn't go for the float. I totally could have lost that. That Forerunner could have gunned me if I my teammate hadn't flinched him off me. So yeah, I know we got damage on this guy. I wanted to push up, and we got lucky. My teammate jolted, and I'm able to get the cleanup on all three thanks to the jolt. Alright, next up. So far left point. I think this was maybe a sweatier team because I usually went far side, or I guess I noticed my mistake and switched it up. Yeah, I really like that angle. That's a super strong angle that a lot of people won't be expecting. So yeah, my teammates both go down. I get this weird 1v1 in their spawn. And I got super lucky here. I can't even lie. This was a bad play. If I had this to do over again, I would have at the very least stayed here till I was full and then maybe peeked it again. But once I saw this dude close on my radar, I kind of had like a oh crap moment. And I tried to just snap skate over him. Thankfully, I won that one pretty easily. And then this guy, I got super lucky. This melee just totally whiffed on me. Otherwise, they would have had me here. So yeah, I floated up over him, finished him off with the final warning. But yeah, definitely this was not the greatest play. I should have played this a little bit slower and more passive. That's where the final warning really shines the most. Either jumping in over people, or you can just sit back behind a wall and float back and shoot them around the wall. So yeah, I probably would have done that different if I had it to do over, but not a bad play, I guess. I don't know, it worked out. This clip is from my game against Terror, so pretty much same roulette I've been talking about. I slide up. I was playing really passive this game compared to how I usually play. Terror's a good player, and I'm not about to go float out in the middle of nowhere and get immediately 3-tapped by the Rose. So yeah, no thank you. I'm going to play smart behind cover against Terror. And here, he didn't have cover. I had cover. I ended up winning. The teams were pretty matched. I think we both had a 0.7 and then like a 1-2 or something on our team. Like they were almost exactly matched. And I don't want to toot my own horn too much here, but I think I was definitely the difference maker. This next round, I totally misplay against Terror. Anyway, so yeah, I push up here. I'm playing kind of passive. I get decent damage on this guy. And then I eat my nade because I want to float and hopefully get the pick on him. But Terror runs around on me, and there's very little like radar warning for this. So and then boom, I see him on close. I thought I had more time, but I didn't. And thankfully, I'm able to get the snap dive off on Terror. And once he's down, I knew his two teammates weren't really too much of a threat, so we went and closed that out. But I definitely should have given the radar a little bit more respect. When it's this bright red, like close one, but not the outer ring as well, it means that they're close, but not that close. So probably could have given that a bit more respect. So yeah, that's all the clips I have for today. Who knows how many of them will make it in there. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something. Thanks for watching.